Let's take an example of universe. Let's take an example of universe. तो क्या ऐसा लगता है कि do you really feel that universe is functioning in a particular manner? There is a way, there is a pattern to this whole functioning of universe. The pattern itself is mind, but how this pattern gets created will be much more useful in terms of if you want to change the pattern. Just think about you want to change the pattern of a certain space in a universe or the arrangement. You want to change the arrangement. What will you do? इसको और भी simple. We can take another simple example to actually suppose you create a little chamber, an enclosed house, and you arrange few things here and there, but you want to change the arrangement of that space, but you can't touch anything. है ना? There should not be any God's hand. Right? You want to change the space. How will you do it? If you ask this question, you will understand mine. If you get the answer, you'll understand mine. So this question is, you want to change the arrangement in an enclosed space without even touching it. है There will be a lot of things which will come to your mind. कि कोई magnet ले आते हैं, but it will not, everything is not magnetic. तो आप magnet लगा के करोगे, if you use the magnet, nothing will happen. If there is something which is like attracted by magnet, maybe. But then there is no outside of universe, where there is a magnet which is actually controlling everything. So how will you change the arrangement within that enclosed space? You'll be able to change the arrangement within that enclosed space by changing the pressure in that system. Because of a certain amount of pressure, the arrangement is in a particular way. If you increase the pressure, the arrangement will change. If you decrease the pressure, the arrangement will change. So in a material world, if you want to understand mind is basically an arrangement. And the pressure ecosystem of that system, of that space, actually controls the mind. So if we talk about our body, body has a certain pattern of doing things, isn't it? That is called as intelligence of the body. You are not doing anything inside this body. You are not doing digestion. You are not doing assimilation. You are not doing heart function. You are not doing lung function. You are not doing detox or any activity, kidney activity, neuro activity. We don't know how this body gets made. We don't know. You just put in some food inside it and a little baby becomes a large person, isn't it? So there is a certain intelligence of this body, which is functioning in a particular pattern. If you see life at large, you'll see a pattern to it. The pattern itself is the intelligence of that life or that organism. But the pattern actually functions or pattern happens because of a certain amount of pressure change. So pattern is the mind, but pressure is the root of mind, is how the mind can be changed. Now, if I tell you to create a pressure within the body, how will you do? How will you create a certain amount of pressure within your body? Is there a methodology to create a pressure within the body? You can do many things, but out of those many things, the most powerful way to actually uh, regulate or deviate or change or control the pressure ecosystem of your body is by holding the breath. So if you want to focus somewhere, do you know that your breath becomes slow and gets held? If you're feeling, if you want to protect yourself, you again hold your breath. Somebody wants to hit you. Or if you prick a needle inside your body, what happens? You hold your breath. isn't it? So, there is a horror scene of a horror movie, and uh, it's a very, very difficult for you to see that scene. What do? You hold your breath. Whatever reaction that happens outside, behind that reaction, there is a breath hold, which is there. Why? Why it is so important that the body holds the breath for doing any kind of function, pushing, pulling, lifting a weight, singing, dancing, doing any kind of work, there is a variable amount of breath hold that happens. If you want to remember something, if you want to remember something from the past or whatever you have read or have experienced, what do? You try to lift your eyes up, and behind that, what happens? You hold your breath. So, without creating a certain amount of pressure, the activities of life cannot be conducted. So, the key to mind, or the key to this change in the pressure ecosystem, is always a breath hold or kumbhak. That is why in Indian culture, we always do an upasana of kumbha or kumbhakara. Kumbha means a vessel, an ellipsoid vessel. Kumbhakara, linga, we always stored energy in linga form. Shivalinga, we also call it Shivalinga, but linga is basically ellipsoid. Your core, the energy body of a human being is a lingakara, or any kind of a living being is lingakara. The whole universe is lingakara, ellipsoid. If Earth is ellipsoid, the solar system is ellipsoid, the galaxies are ellipsoid, the whole universe is ellipsoid. Kumbha, we call it kumbha. In terms of functionality, in terms of shape, we call it ellipsoid. But in terms of functionality, it's a storage house. In terms of functionality, the ellipsoid can be called as kumbha. And kumbhak, when we say kumbhak is a methodology to actually alter the pressure ecosystem of ellipsoid. So kumbhak is the key to change of pattern in the universe, of change of pattern in an enclosed system, or change of mind. We can also call it change of mind. Mind gets regulated through kumbhak. We should have at least some kind of a definition of mind in order to approach any kind of mental deviation or issues. But do you know, at this point of time, we don't even have a definition of mind. I'm telling you the definition of mind. And in this definition, you'll see that pressure becomes the key, which Ayurveda calls Vata. And Ayurveda calls Vata the key, the king of health. We call Vata the king of health. Vata, because of pressure, temperature also gets created. The thermal activity or the thermal quotient of the universe is because of change in pressure. That is why if you go down the earth, the temperature will increase because there is higher pressure. If you go above, higher up, the pressure is low and the temperature becomes less and less and less. So Pitta, temperature ecosystem is called as Pitta. Vata, pressure, Pitta, temperature, and Kapha means material. So this matter universe, my universe which is formed out of matter, matter is material. The matter actually changes and transforms itself from one form to another. And that's how lively activities happen. Life activities happen. In order to transform matter into from one form to another, you need two basic things, which is temperature and pressure. Pressure primarily, then temperature, and these two together actually transforms matter. This is called as Kapha Nidana or Kapha Ayam of life. So Vata Pitta Kapha. This is the basic principle of Ayurveda, and Kumbhak is the king of Ayurveda because it controls all the three things, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. So if you approach mind from the viewpoint of Ayurveda, Correcting the Vata Pitta Kapha also can correct the mind. Once again, you can correlate it with the pressure ecosystem. The pressure ecosystem is the mind, arrangement is the mind, pressure ecosystem is the control of mind, and Vata is basically the key to control the mind.